when you talk about evolution and we talk about the evolution of the body, we are amazing at adapting. I mean, look at the environments in which people live, right? We have found amazing ways to adapt to our environment. And some of that is our internal environment, not just our external environment. And how you create that internal environment is your physical stresses, like you said, hunched over, working at the office, the nutrition that you put in, right? I have patients that in our intake form, we talk about, what's your diet like? That's one of the questions. And we have all the check boxes and everything for them to check off. And it's amazing people live on beer and pizza. Like, I mean, when you look at it, you're like, you're 65 years old. How the heck did you live on beer and pizza for this long, right? Because it can adapt, right? It really does have the ability to adapt or compensate, right? It compensates for these issues. But when we talk to patients about compensation, I'm like, when you go to work every day and you get a paycheck, what are they doing? They're compensating you for your work, right? There's a price to pay. There's a price to pay for this compensation. We were talking to a physician recently, and it was a patient who had a leg length inequality after a hip replacement. And we showed the x-ray showing, and here's the issue, and here's the spine curving back. And the physician was like, oh yeah, she's compensating. And I went, well, yeah, she's compensating, but what was the price that she's paying for this compensation? And the price is that she was causing these herniations in her back because there was a lot more pressure on one side than there was on the other. Right? The body can compensate. It's got this amazing ability. There's something called the righting reflex that is in your body that when you're upright really does all sorts of things on your body to keep your eyes and ears as level as they can. But if you're talking about shoulders like this, and I have to do this in order to compensate for that shoulder, because normally the head would follow the shoulder, and it has to pull back around like this, sure, it can do it. It has the ability to do it, but now I've got this neck pain that's constantly there. And now I can't turn my head all the way, right? There's a price to pay for these compensations. So what do we do as the structural analysis and people that work with structure all the time? What we try to do is get the body as balanced as possible, so there's less compensation that it has to make just in normal daily living. So when you do get exposed to these outside stressors that we know are coming, you're gonna trip and fall, life is like that, it's gonna happen. When these things happen, you're not already overloaded with compensation to where you get to a point where you break, right? It's like having the tree or the pencil already bent so far that all it takes is that little bit to snap it. If you start it here and it can bend one way or the other, it can adapt to stresses. But if you're already adapting as much as you can, it's really easy to break it.